Based on the best-selling book series, the Spiderwick Chronicles tells the story of three siblings that came face-to-face with the magical and sometimes scary creatures that inhabit their new home.
Hi, I'm Freddie Highmore from Made in Hollywood, and here's a scene from my upcoming film.
I know this house isn't perfect,
But we can make it work.
Oh, the house? Yeah, it's great. I like big, creepy houses in the middle of nowhere.
Stop acting like a jerk!
Check it out. Don't you want to know where this thing goes? Not really.
You play both Simon and Jared. They're twin brothers, but what are the differences between them?
You know, they are twins. They're genetically the same person. But I mean, the way they've grown apart, they've reacted differently to their parents splitting up. And I mean, Jared, I think it's difficult because Jared perhaps was closer to his dad, and Simon may be more of a sort of mum's boy. And so, you know, in that way, it's shown to hit Jared a bit harder.
What has happened within the Grace family, and how has that impacted your character?
Well, I mean, there's a big issue at the beginning of this movie. There's a family that have been torn apart by this tension between the two parents. And I think Mallory sort of knows what's happened and kind of edges towards the mother and feels sympathy for her, and she's going through a hard time, where Jared goes towards the father and Simon's sort of in the middle, so there's a division in the family.
Obviously, all sort of divorces affect the kids, and every one of the kids, and so, you know, he's still hit by it, and he still feels, you know, he's still hurt. He's just more internal than Jared.
Arthur Spiderwick's field guide.
Dear reader, you will soon see that there are fantastical creatures living among us.
Why can't I see you?
You don't see us, now you do, but only if we want you to.
You normally direct the more comedic films. What about the Spiderwick Chronicles drew you to the fantasy genre?
Well, it was something that was intrinsic in these books that was different from all fantasy films. Because I love reading Harry Potter and I love reading Lord of the Rings, but these ones kind of felt like they were real. Like, as opposed to having like a British wizard, this is just a normal boy, an angry boy who's kind of going through divorce, and he has no special powers, but he has to end up kind of saving the world himself.
But be forewarned, a rare few are, quite frankly, to be feared.
Ah, you took the book! I put a note right on the cover! Can't you read?
All around us, goblins, trolls, sprites. You gotta believe me. Impossible.
You're such a liar!
Keep the book safe from the ogre.
Ogre?
What was it like playing Mulgarath, a huge ogre, in this fantasy movie?
The fun part was the old man, you know, because, you know, we had pieces, facial pieces, and we had that.
You looked like your hair was falling out.
Well, the hair was way down to my, butt, and
You had yellow contact lenses?
yeah.
That was really scary.
Well, you see, Mulgarath, he's so old, he can't quite get complete shapeshift. So I figured underneath that cloak, he didn't even bother to change scales. I mean, he just had skin on his hands.
Right.
Then from here on was all scales and warts and bumps and things, you know.
And what elements in this film can the audience personally relate to?
Well, I mean, hopefully they can relate to this kind of family, because I mean, pretty much all families have their own, friction to them. Maybe not as bad as this family where they're actually going through divorce, but everyone can relate to the fact that things aren't always hunky-dory, and brothers and sisters just aren't always kind of like giving hugs and kisses to each other. And I think the beauty of this movie is that no matter how much turmoil they're going through, by the end of the movie, they are all back to back to back in the foyer of the house, ready to fight the incoming hordes of goblins.
And then I think this magical world and this believing in one another and this trust builds a bond between the family that I think that kids can relate to, and that I think makes a good movie, because therefore it's not just fairies. I mean, I think the magical theme of this movie is just so fantastic, and the visual effects are just spectacular. I was shocked, absolutely, like, stunned when I watched this movie the first time.
We're surrounded by goblins! There's no such thing as goblins!
Now you believe me?
Yeah, there were many different computer-generated effects in this film. What was it like filming on set without all the characters there?
It was crazy, absolutely crazy. We were, you know, on set with like tennis balls as for our eye line. I mean, you can't act with a tennis ball. And then Mulgarath was like an inflatable balloon that was like up in the air. It was a unique experience.
Whose side are you on?
Your side.
Yeah!
You ready?
Now I'm ready.
Let's go.
How did you play two characters? What kind of tricks did you guys have to use to shoot the scenes with both Simon and Jared?
We did something called motion control, and so the camera repeated its movements twice, and once I'd be there as Simon, and once I'd be there as Jared, and then they'd match the images together afterwards. And so, yeah, it looks like I'm there at the same time. I mean, it sounds quite simple now, but I mean, at the time, you know, it took a lot of rehearsing and setting up and stuff, but I think we got a good result.
Where's the buck?
Did I hit somebody?
Yes. Thank you.